Hey guys, it's Araya. So I'm outside and it's really windy out here and it just got done raining, so hopefully I won't get rained on. But today's video I wanted to do coping with split families, and this was another highly requested video. So when I was 1, my parents split up. My mom was pregnant at 16 and they had me at 17. So they were a high school couple and they didn't make it. And so when I was 1 is when I met my new stepdad, and he's still in my life. So let's just talk about what it's like to live with someone new. Your parents seeing someone new, not having your parents see yourself. So obviously I can't really remember when I was 1, but I can remember about maybe like when I was 5. It was weird. That's when I had my sister, and I was daddy's girl growing up, and I lived with my mom majority of the time, so I would cry a lot. I really wanted my dad. It wasn't fair. I didn't really understand why my parents weren't together, and it's really hard to cope with the fact that you can't be with both of your families at the same time. And a lot of the times you have to pick. Like, I know there's some days when my dad's doing something the same day and my mom's doing something the same day, and then you have to choose, and then you feel like the one you don't choose, they're gonna think that you don't love them or you like the other parent more, and it's totally not true. And it sucks to have to make those decisions because you just want to spend time with both of them. Like, you don't want to have to choose. Like, they're your parents. It's really hard, like especially when I became a teenager. I kind of used having a split family as say I got in an argument with my mom, I'd be like, I'm gonna go to my dad's, and you know, that sort of thing. But coping with just not being with both your families is really hard, and it takes a long time to get used to. I remember when my dad, he first started dating, I didn't like it, and I remember meeting my now stepmom. She was really sweet and I really liked her, and I was really happy for my dad, to be honest. I was probably about 12 at the time, and I was so happy for him. And then she started hanging around more, and then she started staying. And I didn't know how to feel about that because I'm so used to having my dad to myself at first. So when she started hanging around more, I didn't really like it that much because I didn't have my dad to myself. And then we eventually moved in together, and my brother, I remember asking him, I'm like, so how do you feel about this? Like, is it weird? Like, do you miss spending time with dad because he's not just focused on us anymore? And he felt mutual. And me and my brother Bryce, we both have split families. He has a different mom than I do, so he understands not being able to see both your families together. It's really hard, and I don't get to see him that much because he's either with his mom or I'm with my mom, or when he's with my dad, I'm not with my dad. So it sucks because I don't get to see him a lot. And so that's another thing, your siblings. It sucks not being able to see your siblings every day. Like most families, you wake up every morning, you have your mom and your dad and your siblings. Even though siblings can be annoying, it's still really hard not being able to see them every day. I know there was times when I would be up crying because I just felt like I was spending so much more time with my mom and my mom's kids, my sisters and brothers, and I wasn't spending the same amount of time with my dad's kids, my sisters and brothers, and it just didn't seem fair, and I hated it. Like, I don't know. It's just so hard. I remember there was a few times when my dad finally did have kids, I told him that, you know, I didn't feel like he loved me the same as he used to, and I felt like he didn't really care as much about me. And he kind of laughed and was like, you're ridiculous, like, I don't know why you feel like that, but I did. I couldn't help the way I felt. Like, I'm just so not used to him having another kid around to pay attention to, and I'm the oldest, so on both sides, I kind of was, I don't want to say forced, but kind of made to be on my own and be the grown-up. I don't know, I was just always expected to be, my expectations were always way higher than everyone else's. So that made it even harder, because it's like they're spending so much time with all the other kids, and then I'm just expected to, you know, I'm the oldest, like, obviously they need to pay more attention to them, but it's like, I'm still here too. So that's hard as well. And then there were some times when I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. It was either, you know, my mom and my stepdad and then their kids, you know, they were a family. And then my dad, his wife, and their kids were their family. And then there's just those days where I'm like, where do I belong? Like, where do I fit? I'm just the one outcast that has nowhere to go. And I've told my parents that, and they thought I was crazy for feeling like that. But it really is a feeling that you have when your parents aren't together. Like, especially when I'm the only, like, child made by my parents. So, all my siblings are half-blood, which I don't count them as that. They're my full siblings. But still, like, it's just so hard. And it's something, like, coping-wise, you have to learn to do on your own, and it happens over time. When you're growing up as a kid, it's really hard to really understand, and you're probably not gonna understand. And then when you're a teenager, that's really when I felt most of my feelings, like, didn't know how to feel about it, and just kind of learning where you belong, I guess you can say. So that's really hard, and you just have to figure out, you know, I personally talked to my parents so many times, we've had so many conversations, and sometimes they were repeated, but if you're not feeling loved, or you're feeling like you don't belong, just tell them, like, really tell them. It put a lot of pressure off my chest knowing that they knew how I felt, and it really does help. Like, they're like, "Hey, we love you, like, I don't know why you think that, like, you're still part of the family, and we never thought of you less," and, so just do it. Like, tell them how you feel, like, let your feelings be known, because it really will help. Also, dealing with new step-parents, just think about this. Your parents don't want to be alone. They want to love someone too. They want to be loved. So just try to be happy for them, especially if it's a good person. Just try to accept it, you know. You don't want your parents to be old and alone and sad. So just give them a shot and just be nice to them. And again, with the same thing, you know, if you're uncomfortable about it and you don't know how to feel about them, talk to your parents about it. Like, it helps so much. So, to conclude this video, still parenting is so hard, and like I said, it's something you're just gonna have to get used to, especially if you weren't little like me, and it's something new as you're older. Just, like I said, talk about your feelings to your parents. It's so important. And know you are loved. Just know that. Your parents aren't going to love you any less just because they have new kids or someone new in their life. Also, make sure you spend equal amount of time with your families, because there's sometimes when I can't spend a lot of time with my dad, and it seems like I'm spending a lot of time with my mom, but I'm really not. I'm just busy, and I happen to live here. So just let that be known. If you have any more questions, please let me know. As always, social media will be down in the description bar, and I hope this helps, and I hope I was able to bring a ray of sunshine to your day.